There's one more thing that we need to do before we move on to the next segment. There is a very confused host of this podcast that thought we were on the first segment and did not introduce the actual podcast like what we were supposed to, because I didn't know we were actually doing the second segment at this point. So we're going to do a little business. So just pretend that you didn't see the big screw up that I just did, even though Matt has a secret reel where he keeps all of our screw ups to use it as blackmail later. All right. So I know this will be on that reel, right?
It's
Matt,
a big reel.
It's big. It's big. You should see it. Yeah. Anyway. So we're going to do actually introduce the podcast like what we're supposed to. So just pretend that this is before all the stuff that Randy said. Okay.
Hey, I will point out that if you've ever watched the video version of the podcast, you will know that we danced during the theme song. Yeah.
I think that's why I was confused, because I didn't hear the theme song.
Was no theme song.
Hey, maybe we should do the theme song, Matt.
So he's got it queued up. So I can't believe I'm about to do this, but we're going to dance the theme song here.
We are?
Yeah. So just like normal, just like we're in the studio.
We really just do air drums. That's all we really
So smile and join in. So yeah, air drums is fun.
You're not dancing, Randy.
Yeah, you're right. I made the music.
Dancing. Hello, everyone. Welcome here to a very special tea episode of CoffeeU. Are you excited to be here? We are recording. Yes. Yeah, come on. We are recording with a live cafe audience.
Yes, we are. Not a studio
and
audience.
It's not a studio audience because we do have a studio, but 50 people wouldn't fit into the studio. So thank you guys for being here and welcome to CoffeeU. What's going on with CoffeeU today, Brad?
Well, we're hearing stories from all of our partners and those of us and our team who have visited these places. So we're excited.
And our first place we're visiting is the Dominican Republic with Randy Webb, our Director of Marketing.
That's right.
Here in the U.S. All right, I did it. Yay. That's what I was supposed to do.
Hey, guys. Welcome.
Hey, everyone. Nice to see all the bright, smiling faces. Most of you, anyway. How's everything going? All right.
This is response time. So, like Randy said, this is live CoffeeU. Thank you guys for coming. We got to have a big shout out, though, to Matt Powell, our producer.
Matt.
We don't hear from him much. Matt and Randy, I think Noel was involved, too, helping set everything up for tonight. So great job, guys. Also, Jason Doblestein in the back.
Jason.
If you come in here, you know that he is the fearless leader of this branch of Baba Java. So we thank him for his hard work as well. So, all right. Randy, you're still up here.
I am still up here.
So you went to the Dominican last year. And
it was earlier this year. It sure does feel like last year.
Oh,
but
yeah,
It's been a long year for all of us.
So tell us about your time and what you learned.
Yeah. To really set up what it means for me to have been to the Dominican, to our farm down there, I am not an OG Baba Java guy. I'm an OG Baba Java customer.
You may have been our first customer.
I was there on the soft opening day. I had a friend of mine that a bunch of us know. He's friends with the whole Baba Java crew that drugged me in. Knows that I love coffee. And so I immediately fell in love with Baba Java. Immediately fell in love with the people of Baba Java, and the way they do business and the mission behind their business. I, at the time, was creative director for a big company, owned a whole bunch of brands. I was trying to stay away from my office where those brands could find me too easily, and so I could get work done. So I made Baba Java my office for like 6 months. And the guy that owned that investment company ended up buying into an ad agency with me. So for 5 years, I was a partner in an ad agency here in town. And shortly after I became a part of that business, Baba Java became one of our clients. And so the relationship that I'd already been building as friends just continued to grow. And my family endured something a couple of years ago that a lot of families have endured. And my brother, he was sick, had cancer. It was very clear he was not going to make it. And frankly, I was just tired of working for 40-something businesses a day. I had a 4-year-old niece that I wanted to spend more time with. And so I went to Baba Java because Baba Java I felt like had come on as a client because of our relationship, and I wanted them to hear from me that I was leaving. And I said to Nathan in the parking lot in the Hoover store,
It was literally in the parking lot. Hey, Nathan, can I talk to you for a second?
I said, "Hey, I'm leaving. I'm looking for a place to go. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but if you know of somewhere like your business that runs a business like you run, that has a place." And even if that place is Baba Java, if y'all have something, I'm willing to do just about anything. And I think your response was, this was always going to happen. I just didn't know how or when or something like that. And so that was the start of me being the U.S. marketing director for Baba Java. Baba Java is a business, what I saw as a customer and what I saw as a business partner, a partner with their business and my business, was a company that cared about community. It cared about its employees, and it cared about the way that they do business. And so at the beginning of this year, there was an opportunity for one of us to go to our farm in the Dominican and check in down there on the farm in the community and see how the impact of specialty coffee, specifically the coffee that we bring in here, was what was happening. Matt, if you'll pull up, the pictures. So this is the farm on the Ramirez Estate in the Dominican Republic. The Dominican is half of the island with Haiti, and for decades it's been one of the poorest places in the hemisphere, if not the world. 60% of the people in Haiti live with food and water insecurity, below the poverty line. You don't have to watch the news very often to know that Haiti's still struggling and things are not going well. On the other side of the island, however, the Dominican people are making huge strides. They're becoming a developing country. And as much progress as they've made, 40% still live with food and water insecurity. So Matt, if you switch to the next photo here. I got on a plane in Birmingham, Alabama, and when I travel, I told the story on an episode of the podcast about this. When I travel, I carry usually just a backpack, 4-liter backpack, and my sling bag. I don't check anything, especially if it's international travel. I've got my stuff with me. I know it's going to be with me when I get off the plane. So I show up at the Birmingham airport. I'm going to get on the plane to go to the Dominican, and I get to the counter to get on the walkway to get on the plane, and the lady says, "Hey, we're out of overhead space. I've got to take your backpack and check it." And so I thought they were doing that little thing where they take your backpack and then they give it back to you right when you get off the plane. And she gave me a tag and said, "This will be at the baggage claim in the Dominican when you get off there." And, so I spent all day, 2 flights, a 6-hour layover in Miami, stressing about if my stuff was going to make it, because I wasn't planning on checking it. My bag didn't have my name on it. I didn't have any, I don't know what I left in my bag that I was supposed to keep on my person. It was hopefully I was smart enough to put my my passport in my sling bag. I'm in total freak out mode. And so this has happened before on a previous trip to the Dominican, but as we're landing, as the plane is landing, the entire plane erupts in applause and cheering that the plane had landed. And it was this moment where I spent the first 10 years of my career where I flew, weekly, multiple times a week. And so flying was like pulling out of the driveway for me. And so this plane full of people traveling back home to the Dominican, we're not only thankful that the plane landed, the simple thing that I just took for granted, like it literally erupted in cheers. And that was the first kind of moment that brought me back to realize, my life is a little bit different. I'm a little bit spoiled in the way I live. These pictures are pictures of the streets there in Harabacoa. No stop signs, no red lights. It's just... hope you miss everybody. It's a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. You'll notice you see very few cars and a whole lot of scooters. That'll come up again in a minute. Matt, if you'll switch to the next. The people at the farm at the Ramirez Estate are fantastic. We work with an importer named Joey. Our practice as a business is to buy coffee that's sustainable and traceable and as direct as possible. And what that means is we know the farmers that it's coming from. We know what piece of land that coffee came off of. It's not some big mismatch of coffee from all over that some big corporate entity buys. I know that the Dominican coffee that you drank tonight was picked by this man and grown by this guy's family. And I was there to see it with my own eyes. And not only that, I had the incredible opportunity to plant some of the coffee plants that in 5 years will be some of the coffee that we're drinking here in the cafes. Next, Matt. Oh, there I am using a machete, probably all wrong, but I was I couldn't understand what they were saying to me, so I just kept going. I got a thumbs up when I got the plant in the ground. I got it tamped down, so I guess that was good. Matt, yeah. So here's the airport. I guess I got my slides all out of order. Go next, Matt. Yeah. So again, poverty line in Haiti is rising, but still, if you think about 40% of the people living below the poverty line, living with food and water insecurity, don't know if they're going to have another meal, don't know if they're going to be able to get clean water. That's terrifying and heartbreaking. So what does all that have to do with coffee, right? Matt, next photo. When I got to the processing facility, I looked around and I saw all these people working really hard. On the farms, I saw the farmers working really hard, carrying these huge, heavy sacks full of coffee plants, doing hard manual labor. The individual hand sorting of coffee seeds, the drying, everything that goes on in the coffee process is extremely tedious. And there's a ton of work to be done for the seeds that come out of the cherries that end up being the things that we drink and we call coffee. And as I got there and looked around, I told these guys, I'm like, how is coffee, how does it not cost $100 a bag? How does it not cost $100 a cup? And if it doesn't cost $100 a bag, how are these people making fair living wages, right? And so, again, perspective. I'm an American that lives in America that, while I would hardly call myself rich, I have a lot. I don't have to worry about where my next meal comes from. I don't have to worry about whether or not I can find clean water to drink. What I found out as the trip goes on is that not only are they making fair wages for them, they're making incredibly high wages for the kind of work that they're doing. Matt, if you flip slides there. The Ramirez Estate that we partner with, that our coffee comes from, is not only paying up to 300% above fair wage on their fair trade. How do you say that? Is it fair wage? Fair trade wages?
Fair wages. That's
yeah. 300% of fair trade.
We can't participate in fair trade unless we're part of the fair trade.
Yeah.
And they cost way too much money.
It costs a lot of money.
Which I don't mind saying, that fair trade badge doesn't mean necessarily what you think it means. again, these farmers are making 300% of that. But the estate has done some things that are really cool. So what you see over here on the left is a natural gas hut. So they're taking all the wasted cherries that come from the coffee process and other waste that comes from the farms, and they're turning it into natural gas, which they're turning around and using to power parts of the plant. Here in this section, a lot of this machinery is powered by solar power. So they bring in so much solar power on the processing side that they're actually able to put power back on the grid in Jarabacoa, which is fantastic for a couple of reasons. One, it brings power costs down. Two, power outages when you're not at the processing facility, just a quarter mile down the road, happen every single day, and they can last for 8 hours a day. You never know if you're going to have power or when you're going to have power. So utilities are sketchy at best. And so not only are they a green facility, they're actually putting energy back into the community and taking care of the people around them. Matt, next photo. The Ramirez family has used the money that has come in from specialty coffee and poured it into other businesses. So right from my hotel balcony, I can see the sign, and it's. I'm going to do my best here to read the Spanish. Yeah, it just says something about a hardware store.
Good call.
Yeah, it's a hardware store owned by the Ramirez's. So they were having a problem being able to keep up with all the things that they needed to do to repair and keep the processing plant going. So they opened a hardware store so they could buy things in wholesale. And then on the same token, they're able to serve the community by selling them goods and things they need to improve their homes and their lives. The next one, Matt. When I was at the processing facility, I noticed this patio, and it is just filled with these scooters. Downtown Jarabacoa is filled with people riding scooters. Anywhere in the Dominican, if you're going to have transportation, you're probably going to have a scooter, not a car. Cars are expensive. More than likely, you don't even have a scooter. You're just getting on a scooter taxi and taking off and going. A lot of people have been to the resort areas in the Dominican. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. Very close. I call them America Light. You get 20 minutes outside of there and life is very different. But Mr. Ramirez is open to financing business to be able to help his employees and other people in the community get transportation for the first time in their lives, to be able to get further, to go to work further, to find more work, which has impacted the community, brought more money in, less insecurity in their lives. The next one, Matt. This was a really cool moment on my trip. They opened a fire department there. All the Ramirez family are on the board of the fire department. One of them is the chief. And they were super proud to show me this fire engine. And when we walked around to the side of the fire engine, I knew it said Avenel on the front, which is a town in New Jersey, and there was 9/11 emblems on the side of this fire truck. But then I saw references to Birmingham, Alabama, and I was confused. So after 9/11, one of our Birmingham fire departments donated this fire truck to New Jersey to replace a truck that was lost. When this truck aged out of service, it was donated to the fire department in Jarabacoa. So one of our fire trucks from here in town is the fire truck there in Jarabacoa. It's really cool. So not just coffee, they're taking that specialty coffee has added all this stuff to the lives of the people there in that town. That just boggles my mind, and it makes me really excited to get up in the morning. I'm the marketing. I don't think I said that. I'm the marketing director for the U.S. side here. Our marketing, my co-marketing director's in the back, and you'll hear from her later. She's in Dubai. But it makes me real excited to get up every morning and figure out new ways to help our customers know where their coffee comes from and what kind of impact it has on people. Next one, Matt. Yeah. This one is one I might cry. So on our way to one of the farms one day, we passed this. This is a school in the rural area out between Harabacoa and the farm. If you go to the next slide, Matt. This is the school just outside of the processing facility in the town that the specialty coffee money in the town has built. Computers, books, uniforms. Next picture, Matt. This is a student from that school reading a letter to all of us coffee buyers that were there to thank us because, and frankly, shouldn't be thanking us. It should be thanking our customers who buy the coffee, who make the impact. That before they had a school, a lot of people just chose not to send their kids to school because it was too far away. Before they had a school, there were lots of addiction issues in their neighborhood. And just by having education and having hope that their children were getting an education, a lot of those things have rectified themselves without any other big interventions because there's hope. And like, again, a plant that's grown with care and harvested and turns into a drink that we all enjoy has made these changes in this place. And it's cool to be a really, really tiny part of that process. Next, Matt. Yeah, and so as I think about my time in the Dominican, as I think about the work that Baba Java does, these cafes are cool. The community that we've managed to put together and that comes and uses this space is awesome. It's really easy for me to get in the busyness of a week with Google ads telling me I'm about to run out of ad spend, or another message on Facebook Messenger, or all the little things that come. It's really easy for me to forget that it's not just this. There's a much bigger world. I was talking with what was your name again? Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say that, but yes, I was talking to him earlier, and I was talking about one of my favorite things about the Dominican was, in the evenings, it wasn't a bunch of people sitting on their couch playing Xbox or watching TV. They were literally out in front of their homes with each other, sharing food and stories and community. And so not only can we be a part of that by participating and drinking coffee and hanging out together here, by hanging out together here and drinking this coffee, we're making it possible for more people to have a better life there.
Very good. So every one of you, you're here because you love coffee, right? You like to come and drink coffee and participate in that. Are you just coming and drinking coffee? Is that just all it is? You just come and do that? No. What is it? It's impacting communities and places and people that you'll never even meet. So you're helping these guys that Randy's been talking about have a better life, expanding their community, helping their community have a better life. That's what it's all about. That's why you guys are here.
Well,
Randy, thank you for
Randy.
sharing, seriously, and for giving all of us insight into our partners there and how you guys are impacting the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, so thank you, all of you.
Yeah.
Give yourself a hand for all of you that are impacting people in the Dominican Republic just by enjoying coffee. Well, we're back. Welcome again. I hope you enjoyed the, what are those cheese puff things called? Cheese puffs? Colombian cheese puffs. That's what we're calling them.
They're more of a crunch than a puff.
More of a crunch. Okay.
I would
So
say.
Colombian cheese crunches, the official name. Okay. So a couple of months ago, we had the opportunity to, with one of our partners, to send some guys to a farm in Colombia. We've had really, really good success. You know, Colombia is very famous for coffee. Been doing it for a long time, doing it really well. One of the most successful of the South and Central American countries to produce coffee. And so we've had some really good success. And Forrest is one of the the producers that we've been using for a while. I don't know if any of you know, but my family has adopted 3 children from Colombia, a sibling group of about 3 years ago. And so we had the opportunity to go down there and meet some of the people from Forest Company while we were in Bogota. Their offices in Bogota, and then they work with lots of the farms around. So we got the opportunity to send some people to go to Colombia to visit this farm, and they had a really good experience. And I can't wait for you to hear from 3 of these guys about it. Brad actually went on the trip.
I want to make sure you're saying Colombia.
Colombia. Because we're in Alabama, and we usually say Colombia, right? Or some people do. I know all you don't, but I do.
Colombia.
So Colombia, right? So there's a difference between Colombia and Colombia, right?
That's right.
So have to be careful about that. So Brad, who else went on the trip with you?
So Nick,
who you just met, who you heard from a couple of times,
and our director of weirdness, Lee White.
Of weirdness.
Director of Client Services, Lee White. I want you guys to come up here.
Yeah, come on up, guys, and I want you to share your experiences. Yeah, come on, Lee.
No.
I'm leaving.
We're kicking Nathan out.
I'm out.
I'll open the door for you.
We have a step stool for me to get on these things.
I know. I need one.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're just going to, similar to what Randy did, we're just going to show some pictures and just talk about our experience. And Nathan mentioned we use Forest Coffee as our partner in Colombia. They are a coffee buyer, and they work directly with farms in Colombia to buy specialty coffee from them. Colombia. Did I say Colombia? That's my Southern Tennessee coming out. Anyway, so we've been partnering with them for a few years. Josh, actually, who you'll meet later if you've heard him on the podcast before, he is the person who found these guys, and we started buying that pink power from them a couple years ago, and they've been a great partner of ours. So we had been looking to do a farm visit with them, and they actually invited us to come be judges, essentially, in a coffee competition. So long story short, Forrest has been going to farms all around in western region of Colombia, and they've been going to these farmers who have only grown commodity coffee. Who knows what commodity coffee is compared to specialty? Not many people, so we need to explain that. So commodity coffee is coffee that is rated below specialty. So a specialty grade coffee gets scored after it has been harvested, and if it scores an 80 or above, it is considered specialty grade. Therefore, a farmer doesn't have to put it on the commodities market. They can price it based on quality. A commodity coffee is 79 or lower. They basically have to price it at whatever the market says. So in the past, the commodity market has been well below the specialty market. Unfortunately, this year, that has not been the case. The commodity market has actually skyrocketed, which we've talked about on podcast episodes before. But these farmers have only grown commodity coffee. They're selling to Nestle. Who knows Nestle? So Nestle is the largest coffee buyer in the world, mainly for instant coffee, almost entirely for instant coffee. They either sell to Nestle or they sell to the Colombian government or the Coffee Federation. And so they're paying market price for their coffee. And in Colombia, they actually have their own market price. They don't use the worldwide one. They use their own, which is a little bit higher than the world one, but it's still not great pricing. So Forrest goes to these farmers and they teach them growing, harvesting, and fermentation techniques to get their coffee up to specialty grade. And so they invited us to come, judge these coffees, and then we'll show at the end they had a really cool, they call it a graduation for their farmers who brought their first specialty lots for us to taste, and they had the top 10 come, and we had a little party for them. So Matt, if you want to go to the first picture there. So yeah, as you have the Columbia Pink Power here, and this is Lee. Won't you tell about I'm going to turn this just a hair. This is on Elverhill.
Yeah, so when we went into Colombia, we landed in Bogota. We spent some time with Forest Coffee at their offices there in Bogota with other coffee companies that they had invited from the U.S. And one from the UK, but to participate in this judging competition. So we got to meet some other folks, got to spend some time with the company there in Bogota at their main headquarters. And then they took us, Sergio Andretti drove us in his
So this is like a 5-hour ride.
Mazda supercar, Subaru supercar, on this 5-hour grand tour.
So if you'll notice, there aren't many pictures from this ride because he was asleep. And Nicholas and I were hanging on for our lives. Nicholas was in the front seat.
We let Nicholas ride in the front.
I kid you not, he was going like 60 miles an hour
80.
around blind curves, passing trucks.
Double yellow.
When the mountain's just there.
The Andes Mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big ones.
we're at 8,000 feet, between 6,000 and 8,000 feet the entire ride. So
So we're rocketing over to Fresno, which is where the Elverhill Estate is. Beautiful, really cool space. They started it originally to be an avocado estate, and then she and her husband realized that avocados are a little bit particular, a little difficult, and so they shut those down and went to coffee. And then he passed, and so they started Forest Coffee. Basically, she and her two sons are the ones, Marta and then her two sons. So we got to spend time on the estate, and they took us up into their farm. So that's where this picture was taken, was there on the farm, about 6,000 feet.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, go back. There you go.
So this is the crew, a lot of the staff from Forest. What was really exciting is so many of them are super young. They're passionate about their country and really improving the lives of people around them. So that was exciting. And then all the other folks that were there with us from California and Kansas City and the UK.
Yeah. You can go to the next one.
So again, just seeing a little bit of the estate. That was...
Yeah, this is like walking out. So they have these little dorms that we stayed in, and this is the view. This is like basically the view outside our window. It's unbelievable. And this is Nicholas playing with... So the cook who lived on the premises, Nicholas, if you want to talk about... She was so cute, the little girl.
Yeah, they one of the head cooks that were at the Elverhill Estate, she had a little daughter, and one of the last days we were there... I found out we were going back and forth, a lot of Spanish to English. Google Translate was really struggling, but she was asking me what shrimps were in English, and she kept referring to her dog. Funny enough, in the dead middle of the mountains in Colombia, she had named her dog Cooper. Thought that was really interesting. Very unique name for a dog. Yeah. But she lit up when I told her that perrito in Espanol was puppy. She had the biggest smile. Anyway, she was adorable. Funny. She was great.
Nicholas was our translator. He speaks Spanish.
It's not true.
That's pretty bad.
Better than I do.
This was the streets of Bogota when we got there. Back at one. We're just walking to lunch, but beautiful place. If you've ever been to Bogota, it's again we was I don't know what June. When were we there?
July.
Yeah. And it was beautiful, not hot at all.
So nice.
You can go to the next one, Matt. All right, so this is Marta. She's the owner of Forest and the owner of Elverhill Estate, and her two sons also run it with her. So this is this is their farm, Elverhill Estate. And is there a picture of us planting our coffee there? Yeah, there it is. And so we got to plant a Baba Java tree there. So in 3 to 5 years, we'll see a first harvest. This is a geisha variety. Anyone who knows varieties, we're excited about it. So hopefully you'll be able to drink coffee from that tree here in a few years. So when we got to the estate, this is what we did for 3 full days. We tasted coffees from morning until night, and the forest workers, they were drinking coffee into like 1, 2 a.m.
Let's go.
Which was unbelievable. So that's what we did. It destroyed my palate. By the 3rd day, I couldn't taste anything. So thankful we had Nicholas there to hold us up because his palate's amazing.
Didn't stop you from eating the Colombian food.
No, of course not.
Yeah, tasted
Of course
that.
not. I had no problem with that. But so what the process was? Again, I said they went to these farmers, taught them different techniques, really about harvesting. So when you're doing commodity coffee, a lot of times, hey Matt, can you go back to the very first picture that showed the coffee plant? Yeah. All right. So if you see this, so you see there's some red cherries here. So these darker ones are the ones you want to grab. All right. You don't want to grab the green ones, even these kind of yellowish ones. So if you're doing commodity, a lot of times they will just strip all of that. Okay. And because they really care more about quantity than quality. All right. So what Forrest is doing, the first thing they do is they go in and say, hey, when you go to pick, only pick the ripe ones. All right. You pick those. They're actually heavier. You'll get more money for your coffee because it's heavier. And then you go back and you harvest again and you harvest again. And you're going to get more actually out of your plant if you harvest just the ripe ones. So that was the first thing they did. And then once they got the coffee, the next step is the flavor. And you do that through fermentation. So then they started teaching them different fermentation techniques to improve their flavor. And then from there, it's getting the coffee out of the fruit into the bag, and they basically are teaching them along the way how to do that. And so once they did that, they got their coffee samples, roasted them, and Matt, if you go back to that previous one we were on, that's what we're doing here. So the team, they grind in the grinder, hot water into the cup. Who's ever done a cupping before? Anybody in here who's seen it? All right. The cupping is basically you put grinds in here, you do hot water on it, you wait 4 minutes, you break the crust. This is a very simplified version of this. There's smelling that goes along with that, and then you taste the coffee at different temperatures and you score it. That's where the scoring comes from, okay? And so then we all walk around, we do our notes, and then we went and sat down and we all talked about what we tasted. And again, Nicholas's palate's amazing. He was coming up with all types of awesome stuff in his...
Some great coffee.
We all scored it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, we were all pretty close to each other scoring wise.
I just kept copying what y'all said.
Smart. I was copying Nicholas. So,
No.
so by the end on Thursday was the last day we were tasting. They averaged all of our scores, all of the guests who were there, plus the Forest folks who were there, and they averaged them out, and they took the top 10, and then they invited us all to this town called Manzanares. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Perfect.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
You speak Spanish.
You're the
Because you speak
Spanish guy.
Spanish.
That's pretty good.
We went to Manzanares, and we had a really cool event for them. Go to the next one there, Matt, if you don't mind.
Nope. That's it.
That
Back
is
up.
us that's us going to Manzanares, I believe.
Nope.
No, it's
that
going
not?
down the mountain.
There it is.
Going down. Oh, there we go. So we visited. So this was before we get to Manzanares, this was a station. This was an old washing station here, where they would float the coffee here. All right, and the ripe cherries would stay on the bottom, and then the bad ones they would scoop off the top, and they would also use it as a fermentation tank. So the cherries would sit 48, 72 hours, ferment, and then they would scoop them up, put them in a depulper, remove the seed, dry it, and then put them in bags. So that was the first one that Forrest ever had. It was pretty basic, and then they upgraded to this really nice, huge facility.
One second. So
Yeah,
if
go
you
ahead.
go back to the one with Marta in it, if you would, Matt. Yep. So one thing that really was striking while we were there, and when you go there's so many different ways that coffee is farmed, right? And so in Colombia, you're in the middle of the Andes Mountains, and there's a lot of elevation, and it's pretty rigorous terrain. And so that was certainly something that was educational as we looked and had a conversation with Marta about hiking down. This is all harvested by hand. There are other places around the world, right, Nicholas, where it's mechanically harvested.
Yeah.
Some places, yeah.
But this was all by hand and pretty steep elevation, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that was really striking. I mean, and even as Brad's talking about, you have to pick the ripe cherries and then go back and pick the ripe cherries again. Well, that's a lot of walking over and over and over again. And one of the guys that we had lunch with,
Jorge.
Yeah, was talking about how some of his plants he actually has to be harnessed in or on belay to pick the coffee. So if you know what I'm saying there, like he's roped in and rappelling down to pick coffee. I didn't know it got that deep. So that was crazy.
It was wild.
All right,
Go to that last one there, Matt. So this is Jorge.
Jorge.
So at the graduation, they ranked everybody 1 through 10, and we were able to buy some coffee from some of these farmers. It just landed last week, so you'll be able to hopefully taste it in the next week or so. Well, we have to taste it first to make sure it's roasted. But we're really excited to share these coffees with you guys. And again, these are the first specialty lots from these farmers. They've never done this before. They've only been doing commodity coffee. And so they were so excited to be able to share this with us, and what Forest is able to do so in this town, Forest opened a buying station there, and they're the only specialty buying station. There's one of 7 stations total, or 5, I can't remember, but they're all commodity except for them. And so they've seen huge success from the community because they're paying more than Nestle or the government is paying. And so farmers are seeing this, and they're taking not only are they taking their coffees to them, but Forest is doing free workshops for all the farmers. And these winners, you can see he got cash check, but they also gave them tools to use on their farm as well. So again, the impact that you guys are having by buying from us, but buying their coffees, this is the impact you're having. It's improving their life, their quality of life. They're able to send kids to school, get tools to improve their coffee farming. And just thank you guys so much for doing that. So before we close, guys, maybe share one thing that stood out to you from the trip.
Yeah, so going a little bit more about what Brad was talking about, like Forest reinvesting into the farmers. I think something that I assumed going into Colombia was that, these people definitely know more about coffee than I do. And in a lot of areas that we were in, that wasn't true at all. Like maybe the average coffee person or the coffee nerd here would even know more than some of these farmers that are dealing with it day in and day out. Like, so the work that Forest is doing to reinvest into their farmers, to encourage them to reinvest into themselves, is huge, because they're able to get a premium price on a product. And Jorge has a really special story. He's a 40 year. Sorry, his family's been into farming the coffee for about 40 years or 2 generations. Correct, yeah. He's got a 7-year-old daughter that he's hoping follows in after him. And he's gotten his wife and his grandmother his mother, and then his dad. It's his dad's farm. And they all live together, and they're all working really hard. And, he was really hoping that through us buying his coffee, that for the next harvest, he'd be able to hire 2 to 3 more guys to help him speed up, because he's working sometimes before the sun even rises to 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I mean, that's like one day, and he's doing that 7 days out. There's no breaks. He's working so hard. So that was something that really surprised me, is just the effort that goes into this product. And there's even more, they're a couple hundred miles from the nearest port that has to get there somehow, whether they're doing it themselves or paying for it, and taking time away from them, making sure that their crops are good, or dealing with leaf rust, which is a very insidious and very
nice word,
costly disease that the plants have, and it's spread by pollinators. And so every few years they have to completely go through and get new crops in, and it's a lot of money for these people. And so Jorge's story is really special, and it was really great to be able to support his family in that farm. I believe it was El Diamante. Is the name of the
Diamante.
farm.
Agreed.
The Diamond.
Yeah, so we talk a lot about at Baba Java how coffee impacts culture and culture impacts coffee, and I think that was one of the things that we saw live action while we were there, and it was beautiful to see. Even Forrest, their motivation to impact their fellow countrymen, wanting their lives to be better, wanting to see like they're not trying to get us to buy Jorge's coffee through them. They introduced us to Jorge to buy coffee directly from him so he could get more for his coffee. That's significant, isn't it? It lands differently. And that was tremendously impactful to me and I think to all of us. Spending time with them, knowing Jorge's name, knowing Geraldine and then, Marta, and seeing the work they're doing, the efforts to, it was called the Reforest Project because one of the things they were doing to battle some of the climate challenges that they're having, to strategically plant rapidly growing trees that would shade the coffee plants because of how persnickety.
Man.
How persnickety.
That's your $10 word.
Hey, there you go. I went to Montevallo. Go Falcons. And so the coffee plants are when they grow. So really special, incredible trip. Buy me a cup of coffee and we'll talk for a couple hours.
That's a Tuesday for you.
It is.
Thank you guys so much. Again, look for these coffees. Will be out. I can't say I'm not the roaster, but Ruben, Nicholas, hopefully in the next few weeks, you'll be able to taste some of these coffees. We're going to roll them out one at a time. We have 3 different coffees from 3 different farmers. Actually, 2 of them from Jorge. One's from his mom, one's from him. And then
One's from his wife.
Is his wife, sorry. Anyway, we're excited to share them with you, and thank you guys so much for listening. Oh, man. My gosh. Sorry about those noises again. I got a bad...
Lots of old man noises.
I got a
And
bad
you're a lot
back.
younger than I
got a
am,
bad
too.
back.
Come on, man.
Get off my case. All right, so have y'all had a good time so far?
Man, that Dubai chocolate's good.
Hopefully the coffee's keeping you awake. Lastly, we have I'll say the co-founder of Baba Java, Josh Parvin, about to come up, and his lovely wife, Rachel. They're missing a very important part of their family now, Nathan.
Yeah, the only one that's going to be able to stay here with us while they go back to Dubai, our grandson, Luke.
He's with his grandmother, though.
They can go wherever they want to, but they have to leave him here.
That's all right.
A few years ago, there was a young man in high school who went to, with another guy that was about to graduate college, and they went on a trip to this place called Oman, to Muscat. And they visited Muscat and Oman to visit this weird guy that was running a coffee company named Brad.
Weird guy.
Well, at the time he was weird. You've gotten better. You got better.
I appreciate that.
But they visited him. He ran a coffee company in Muscat, and then this guy named Josh Parvin came back from that trip, and he was really fired up about coffee. And he kept bugging his dad, who liked to invest in stuff, that we should start a coffee company. And he kept bugging me, 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 and he kept bugging me. And so we finally looked into it, because I like coffee. And so we finally looked into it, and we did a feasibility study, and it worked that there was a pretty big opportunity here in the Birmingham area to open start a coffee company, a specialty coffee company. And so we were going to start roasting, and then Brad and his family decided they were going to move back to the U.S. from Oman, and we decided, hey, we're going to open cafes too. So Baba Java started, and we started roasting in our basement at our house. I don't know if that was legal with the health department, but that's what we were doing.
With Ruben back there. Ruben roasting.
He was one of our first hires. He was our roaster, and he started roasting in our basement. And then we opened a cafe when Brad got back into town, and here we are today. Josh decided at that time, he was still in high school when he visited Brad in Oman. He decided he wanted to go to take coffee and live in another country. And so he researched the best universities to go and for international business, and we So he went to college to study international business. When he graduated, he started working for Baba Java. Well, he was working for Baba Java already, but
That's right.
full time after that. In the meantime, something amazing happened in his life. He went on a trip to South Africa and met this young woman named Rachel. And so Rachel had a passion for going overseas too. So Josh and Rachel are our team, are our first teammates.
Yeah, why not? Team members, mates.
To work for Baba Java Coffee in Dubai, and that's where they decided they wanted to be. There was a lot of research that they did. We did a study to find out exactly which cities were going to be great places to go and open businesses, and so we decided Dubai was the best one for what we wanted to do. And so I want to introduce some very special guests, Josh and Rachel Parvin. Come on up, guys.
Hey, guys. Welcome. Yep. So, natural step. We started a specialty coffee company in Birmingham, Alabama. The next thought we had was, let's do it in Dubai too, right? Makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Cafe in Birmingham. Let's move it over to Dubai. Yeah. So it is certainly an interesting thing. But as my dad, this is my dad. If you didn't know that, as he just shared, the way Baba Java started was we had a passion for coffee internationally, in the Middle East specifically, and just fell in love with how intentional and how organic relationships can happen overseas and how we can make an impact in a different part of the world. And so we wanted to open coffee in the Middle East somehow, and Dubai just kept coming up with all these different things. In particular, it is the hub of specialty coffee in the Middle East. There's this big coffee trade show. Does anyone know what a trade show is? Yeah. So we have trade shows for specialty coffee specifically as well. It's called the SCA Expo, or World of Coffee. And so there's lots of different events of specialty coffee trade shows around the world, but they move to different cities every year, except for one city in particular, and that's Dubai. We have one for the Middle East region in Dubai every single year, which just shows how much of a hub it was for our industry to the region. In addition, so Dubai has about 4.2 million people, maybe 5 million, depending on which statistic you look at. And there are about close to 180 specialty coffee roasters in Dubai. Birmingham metro area has 1.2 million, probably has about 15. So very saturated. So when we moved to Dubai, when we started doing research about moving overseas and opening our business overseas, we were like, might not be very wise to start a roastery there right off the bat, not having any connections just yet, and there being that saturated of a market. Now they love coffee, but I don't know that that would have been the wisest step for us. So we decided to do something a little different. We don't have cafes over there yet. Hopefully soon we'll have a cafe there, but we actually sell our green coffee from these farms that we've been talking about tonight to all of these roasters there. So we're able to impact the culture and the city of Dubai in a little bit of a different way, which is really fun. So we sell green coffee. Has anyone seen coffee before it's roasted before? No, it's like this little green seed, and it's just a little green seed before it's roasted. So that's what we sell. And we don't sell them in 12-ounce bags. We sell them in 60-kilo bags, which is about 132 pounds. So a little bit of a different business model, but it's been fun exploring that for the past 2 years. And it's just really fun. So, Matt, would you go to the first picture? Well, this is Dubai. So that is the Burj Al Arab, which is the most expensive and fanciest hotel in the world, which is what everyone thinks of when you think of Dubai, right? Fanciness. And that's certainly part of it. There's an elevated facade of this wealth that you see there, but that's probably about 2% of the population. The rest of the population is going to be lower class laborers. Dubai is 98% expatriate, which means 2% of the people in the city are from there. That means 98% of the people are not from there, and most of those are from India and Pakistan to do the to be part of the labor force there. So there's a huge opportunity for us as ethical business people to go to Dubai, where people are really taking advantage of labor force wise and try and make an impact in a different way. So that's part of the way we do that. We're also able to impact. Can you go to the next slide, Matt? So this is a lady, and she is Papua New Guinean. She's from Papua New Guinea, and she's a Papua New Guinean coffee farmer. That we do not sell her coffee, but at the trade show that I was just talking about, we have all of our coffees on display, and Papua New Guinea is our most popular one. So we have that right in center. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's my coffee. That's my region. That's where I'm from." And she got so excited, just the brightest smile on her face, and just loved that we actually cared about her people. We bought coffee from her country, and we knew all about the farm. We knew the city. I actually WhatsApp with our farmers regularly, and hopefully soon in the next couple of years we'll get to go visit them in person. Papua New Guinea is a little bit difficult to get to. It's really close to Australia, which might give you an insight as how difficult it is to get there, but you can't get a direct flight there from the US or anything. So hopefully we'll get to go see them in person, but she was really excited about just us loving their coffee well, loving their people. The farm that we use in Papua New Guinea, it's called the Elverhill Estate. So that's where this coffee is from. It's one particular farm, and they actually employ all of their coffee pickers. So a lot of times people will employ...
There's a bag right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the Elverhill Coffee Estate. So they even have their own logo and their own little bird, which is really cool, just from this farm. And so it's really cool. They employ all of their coffee pickers full year round, which is really unique. Coffee is very seasonal. But they employ them year round, and they actually live on the estate as well. They have schools, and then they also have all these social projects that they bring in their roasteries from like the US. So Elverhill Estate has actually built, I think, 2 schools and now like a library book kind of area. Not really a library, but for those schools, for the purposes of that, just with our estates. So that's similar to the Dominican Republic. That's the kind of impact you can get from almost all of the coffees we sell. Papua New Guinea, specifically the Elverhill Estate, is just one of the coffees that we represent in Dubai. We also sell coffee from the Dominican Republic, from Eddie Ramirez's farm that Randy had a chance to visit with earlier this year, and several others, Honduras, Bolivia, El Salvador. What else? Am I missing anything, Rach? Haiti.
Burundi for a little while.
Burundi now. We just got it in. So we're able, all of these different farmers that we have a connection with have a story very similar to the stories that we've been sharing with you all tonight. So every purchase you make really goes to impacting their lives by, we want to pay them higher wages. We go to these farms sometimes, meet them in person, are able to give them that higher price point. Impact their lives personally, not just profitably. And then we're able to also impact the consumer. Can you go to the next slide? So these are some of our consumers in the Middle East. My job is basically to go to different cafes and try and make relationships with people and sell green coffee to them. Just be their friend, sell green coffee. So I get to go, my job, I have the best job ever. Sorry, Lee, I know it's very similar, but I get to go to a bunch of different cafes every single day, interact with people from all over the world, drink great coffee, just make friends. It's just fun. So I get to interact with people like this. I'm working on my Arabic. So I used to live overseas when I was younger. I'm working on my Emirati Arabic, which is a little bit different. But so that's really helpful and impactful for the people as well there. Could you go to the next slide? This is grandmother. So this is one of our clients in Dubai. They are one of the best specialty coffee roasters in the city. And we have an Instagram, Baba Java Coffee Dubai, which we actually have just interviewed a bunch of their employees. So if you're interested in finding out just a little bit more about the lives of the employees of Grandmother Coffee, go and check out our Instagram there, and just see what it's like, because we've done a lot of different fun things with our clients there, because social media is a little bit different in Dubai with green coffee than it is here, isn't it, Rachel?
That's right, for sure.
Rachel is our marketing director for UAE and my wife. So how was it getting into coffee?
Yeah, so I got into coffee really, met Josh in Africa on a trip, and then we came back and started dating. He told me about Baba Java. It had just started the year that we started to get to know each other. And so I say that when I signed my marriage contract, I signed my contract to Baba Java as well.
That's right.
I knew I would plug in somehow, but I had a background in journalism and some photography, and they were looking for, just like Randy described, we were working with an agency, so they were looking for somebody, a liaison between the two, to kind of help take pictures and get our social media up and running for Baba Java. And so that's how I fit into place. And now we have an internal marketing team. Me and Randy co-direct. So, yeah.
What's different about green coffee industry than cafe?
Yeah, I definitely having to figure out how we can create a different presence on social media. Social media is huge in Dubai. It's kind of like your website, which we kind of utilize that here as well, but it's definitely a bigger industry there. And so working on that and how to engage people differently. We don't have a cafe and a brick and mortar store where we're talking to people and interacting with people on a regular basis. So we're getting to know the baristas in other coffee shops and other cafes and learning our clients' stories, and trying to share that on social. So we hope to do that well. Follow us, let us know what you think, and let us know if you have any creative ideas.
That's right. But we get to interact with people like Grandmother, who are some awesome, awesome folks. So if you want to see more about them, they're on our social media, and there will be more videos of our clients in Dubai. And all of these baristas and people we're interacting with are kind of like the low labor class workers that I was just talking about. So even just getting to interact with them and treat them like people instead of just numbers and visas is different, and able to kind of make an impact with them as well. So that's what we try to do. Everyone is valuable. Everyone matters. And whether you're the richest owner or just the barista or the busboy behind the bar. So that's what we try and do, make an impact there. And it's really, really fun. It's a big international city. It's a lot of fun living there, especially with the toddler. So we have to
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
oh, that's right.
That's right.
We have to stay inside a lot. So thankfully, there's a lot of malls in Dubai. But
Yeah, about how warm is it right now?
So last week, the high was 117 and 80% humidity, guys. It's not dry.
Everybody's like, oh, you're in the desert. It's dry, but we've got the water too.
No,
Yeah.
it's not dry.
No.
So we're going back to a pressure cooker when we go back next week.
Very good.
I have one more slide. So one thing that was really cool that we got to start this summer was an internship program. So a lot of our Baba Java employees are wanting to get some kind of international exposure. They work here, and so we've just started an international internship program. So we had our first intern. This is Braden. I should have shown the front of his face, but I really like...
I don't know why you did it. Poor kid.
I don't know. He's really cool. I really like his hat, and this is kind of a cool background we did there. But we get to...
We'll tell him it was intentional.
Braden, you're on the podcast if you're listening. Just the back of your head.
Only your head, yeah.
Only the back of your head. But he did a really great job. It was just really cool. He went from no coffee knowledge at the beginning of the summer, drinking his third cup of coffee ever, to by the end of the summer, knew all about it, knew all the tasting notes, nuances, where it was from, which farms they were, could point to who they were, like which farmers we were selling with. And now he has like his own little specialty coffee kit in his dorm room in California. I'm supposed to send one of these bags to him, so just as a decoration on his wall, so I'll send one to him soon. But it's really fun. We love living in Dubai. Just know that every purchase you make impacts someone, specifically our farmers. That's really what we care about. And just about all of them have stories similar to the ones you've heard tonight. So just know that you're not just drinking a really good quality cup of coffee or getting great customer service. You're impacting your baristas. You're impacting lives all around the world just by drinking a good cup of coffee here at Baba Java.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all your work at Baba Java, and we appreciate you sharing.
Well, that was fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us on our final episode of season 3.
It's 3 seasons. That's
Can you believe
amazing.
it? That's crazy.
Yeah. So this is our final episode of the season, and we will look forward to seeing you back again next season on CoffeeU.
Bye.
Give all these folks a hand.
And Randy and Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Matt, thank you. Matt's our producer, and he just handles all the technical stuff. He and Randy. Thank you so much for setting all this up and everything you do, buddy. We really appreciate you. And Randy and Noel, thank you guys for all that you did for tonight. I mean, this was a lot of fun, and we just like to share a story. And thanks for setting it up so we can do that.
And Jason for opening the cafe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, man.